Shalom. Before I begin, I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Achakwadash, and double honors, double honors to the apostles, elders, great millstone, and shalom to the eye can teaching his word throughout the four corners, in true sincerity, and back on another lesson. We spend by Yahbashim Yahushua, Lord, to be edifying unto the elect of Yahbashim Yahushua. The true name of God is Yahweh, which means he is or he exists. The true name of his son is Yahweh Shai, which means he saves or he delivers. All right. The true biblical Israelites are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. You know, this word, this truth, the scriptures, the Bible. This is our book. This is our history. All right. We are the only ones that have a true power. His name is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. All right. And we are living in the last days, as you can see, with the news with Iran and Israel and the United States and this beast system. All right. Getting further and set up. All right. It would be wise for you to seek the Lord while we in these times. All right. As the scriptures say, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. But before we get, to the kingdom, very major events will take place. And when I mean major events, you can guess. It's like I meant to check the mic, but as you can see, major events like World War III. All right, the mark of the beast, which is the R5D chip. Have to take place before we get into the kingdom, because we're gonna, a lot of death and judgment has to go out before we reach that point. But we're not looking towards it as a bad thing. We know that this needs to happen. All right, like it says in Esdras. All right, in 2nd Esdras 4:28. Well, starting at 28, it says, "But as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee, for the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come." It says not yet come, so it's coming, but not yet. All right. It says, "If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if a place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good." So we have to put this, use America for an example, use Esau Edom. And when I say Esau Edom, I'm talking about the Caucasians, all right, your so-called, white people, which they are not white, they're just red. Okay, you can see the blood, through their skin, hence why they're called red. All right, his name given was Esau. All right, wasted away. All right, but it talks about how the evil, that place of evil, if it's not if it doesn't pass away, then that which is sown as good cannot come. So because we know that before we get to the kingdom of heaven, Esau Edom has to get taken out of power. That's why you see wars and rumors of wars. That's why you see, all right, things are, getting so bad because, for the sake of prophecy, like Yahweh Shai said, we will see certain things, before the end, but we know it's coming, all right, to tell us that this place is out, getting out the way. So then after, we can rule. All right, can't be Esau Edom and Jacob. We cannot coexist. The so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, the true chosen people, the 12 tribes of Israel, all right, from Judah on down, cannot coexist while there's Edomites still in a rulership. We just can't be, all right, America's here, and then you have, us in our land in Israel. It won't work like that, as you can see. All right, even while we're here in America, they done bombed cities. They done, set up puppet activists, for our people to continue to oppress us. All right, because Esau has this perpetual hatred, all right, towards us. So, that's why this evil has to get, that's why this evil, which is Esau Edom, has to pass away. He is the wicked, all right? He won't stop being who he is, okay? That's why he has to get put out the way, and the way he's going to get put out the way is through ultimately World War III, and really through Yahweh sending Yahweh Shai to take, this place down, all right, with the hosts of heaven. So when we see news like World War III, and why you see that it's not going away again, it is for the sake of prophecy. All right, when you go to Revelation 11 and 18, or 11 and 14, it says, "The second one was past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly." And as you can see, we are in those times now. All right, people are talking about we're in World War III already. All right, so it just didn't get nuclear as of yet. All right, but you had World War I, it happened. World War II, it took place, And now we're in World War III, but we're waiting, for the nukes. The reason why we didn't see those nukes really fly off, even though they're talking about nukes, all right, you have different nations testing their intercontinental ballistic missiles. All right, the reason you haven't really seen that, all right, take place is because, again, the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip, which Esau Edom is, going to push out on a worldwide scale, all right, for everyone to take rich or poor, free and bond, all right, to have it within your body. All right, but we know not to take it because, like the Lord said, not to take it. Because if you do take it, you will receive, all right, the full judgment, which is going to be that nuclear fire, according to Revelation 14:9. All right. But World War III is definitely coming. All right. That's why you have this article, which the inspiration came from this article. It says House effort to end Trump's war with Iran fails by 1 vote. It says the nearly party line vote of 213 to 214 shows that Republicans are sticking with the president's military campaign in Iran. Every Democrat except one voted to order an end to the war. All right, we all know it's the same. All right, it's the same head. All right, the same beast. Okay, even those Republicans and Democrats, they're all, it's all the same. It's all the same. It's just confusion. But it's really the Lord, making this happen. This war is not going away, because the scriptures talk about, in Jeremiah 50, and this precept has been coming out a lot in Jeremiah 50 and 45. It says, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh that he had taken against Babylon. So Babylon can represent America. All right, because when you read Jeremiah 50, he talks about the destruction of Babylon, but the way ancient Babylon got destroyed is not how that Jeremiah 50 describes it. Jeremiah 50 talk about Babylon being destroyed as Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, Babylon wasn't destroyed. Ancient Babylon wasn't destroyed like Sodom and Gomorrah with fire, and it wasn't, made inhabited with, wild beasts and, desert creatures. It wasn't, destroyed in this fashion. All right, and even in, ancient Babylon, you didn't have, northern and southern kingdom. All right, here in America, you have all the tribes right here. All right, to prove that point. Okay, and I believe in ancient Babylon, it was just southern kingdom. All right, it says therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh that he had taken against Babylon and his purposes that he had proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Again, can represent America as well. It says surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. So these Amalekites, all right, or these so-called Jews that's calling themselves Jews but are not, all right, those are just Edomites as well, called Amalekites. All right, these Amalekites, all right, these the small hat, wearing black suit, long nose, they be having the Goldilocks, hairstyle, them. And you can see with Benjamin Netanyahu, all right, he has dragged America into, all right, a war, and it's really the Lord dragging America and all these nations ultimately into, a war. As you can see, it's gradually, happening to show that the scriptures are faithful and true. You can't ignore that World War III is not going to happen in our lifetime. It's very, very close. But again, we're just waiting for the mark of the beast, and then any day now we're out of here. All right. Because the Lord's determination is to, destroy America, right? Like it says in Revelation 18, and starting at 1. So after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened, Slakia, with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, is fallen. Right, there you go, Babylon once again. Backing up that Jeremiah 50. Babylon represents in America. All right, it says it's fallen, it's become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, in a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So when America gets destroyed, all right, when it does fall, it's going to be, a habitation for, desert, creatures. Okay, when you go back to Jeremiah 50, it talks about, the wild beasts in Jeremiah 50 and 39. It says, therefore the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the island shall dwell there, and the owl shall dwell therein, and it shall be no more inhabited forever, right, for a very long time. This place is going to be a habitation for these desert creatures. It says, neither shall it neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. As the Most High withdrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, said the Lord Yahweh, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. So, same way how the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah with fire, it's the same way how the Lord is going to destroy America with, fire. Okay, to prove that point, this is 2 Peter. I could get this as well, because it does talk about. All right, I'm gonna read it. 2 Peter 2, start at 5. Since swear not the whole world, but save Noah, the eighth person, the preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the word of the ungodly. We all know the story of Noah and the ark. All right, how the Lord flooded the earth. It says, in turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, right? Ashes, because they got destroyed with fire. It says, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly. So, Sodom and Gomorrah was made as an example of how to not, rule, how to not conduct. All right, a city. All right, and America is a very wicked, city. All right, a city is comprised of citizens. America is a very great, city. All right, to show you how not to live, because how Sodom and Gomorrah, got, turned into ashes. It says, and delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation or the conduct or behavior of the wicked. So the Lord only delivered Lot, and in Noah's time, only Noah and his family got, saved, because they represented the elect in their time. All right, because Lot was, that chosen, all right, to be delivered, whereas Noah was that chosen to be delivered. All right, because again represented the elect. And it's going to be the same thing with us. We just like Lot and we just like Noah, living in a wicked, empire. All right, prophesying the downfall, all right, of, kingdom. Nothing new under the sun. The spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets, but same way, we vexed. All right, the same way they was. I continue on, it says, for that righteous man dwelling among them, and seeing and hearing vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. So the same way how we go out and we see the wickedness and we vexed every day, all right, every hour, every minute, every second of what these Americans and what our people are doing. All right, it's the same thing. Okay, we not bugging ourselves out, because we know that we have the Lord to that's gonna take care of it. Because says the Lord knoweth how to deliver the ungodly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust until the day of judgment to be punished. So we know that even though they committing these wicked deeds, and we know that they committing wickedness, we know that the Lord go judgment eventually, because we can't do nothing, right? That'll be over righteous for us to go see a Momo and put him to death. We just get thrown in jail, or even get given a death penalty, because that's how backward this system is. That's how backward this system is. Like it says in Isaiah the 5th chapter, they have put evil for good and good for evil. All right, this word is completely upside down. That's why we hasten, all right, the return of Yahushua, because then, he's gonna rule, all right, and he's gonna rule with justice, like it says in Isaiah the 9th chapter, and with judgment and justice, and to order it, to establish his kingdom righteously. All right, and it will be a never-ending kingdom. There will not be an end to the kingdom of Yahushua. All right, but I wanted to get I'm tripping. I'm not tripping. 2 Peter 3:10 says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. So, that nuclear destruction. We're not going to flood the earth this time. He's going to use fire. So you have these different nations making nukes. That's how you have, them. They've been making nukes for years, and missiles, or especially Russia, in which they're going to play a major part in the destruction of America. Why do you think that Lord has it that Russia is America's, number one adversary? Because the Lord's going to use Russia to shoot nukes here in America. Everything that the scripture's talking about You know, we not making it up. All right, you can see it, you can search it up, match it up. All right, scriptures is true. Okay, but, back in Revelation 18, and I'm gonna skip down. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I'm gonna skip down to 8. It says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be earthly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and live deliciously with her shall beware her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. So America's gonna get destroyed with fire, right? Because it's the Lord doing it. And these different nations that dealt, with America, all right, that then, got rich off America. All right, they're gonna bewail for her because they won't be able to, make money. Like it says, continuing on, it says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city, for 1 hour is that judgment come. And that's how, mighty and how powerful you see the Lord is in 1 hour. And really, the Lord could do it in a shorter time than that, but in 1 hour will America be destroyed. And it says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, that for no man to buy their merchandise anymore, right? So, no point of getting rich. And it's not gonna, more being getting rich off America, because even though these nations don't like America, they still try to copy and be like America. Like it says, they drunk the wine of the wrath of her fornication. All right, they committed fornication where they wanted to be like America, copy its philosophies and etc. Even though they hate it, it's like a hate-love relationship. All right, but they ain't gonna be making no money no more. All right, then they gonna see the so-called black Latinos, Native Americans, all right, getting ready to rule. Okay, but in 1 hour, will this place to be destroyed? That's why World War III is not going away. But with that alone, this lesson was edifying. I want to give our praises to Yahweh Bashim, Shai Bashim, Kakwadash, and the bonus to the apostles, elders, great millstone, and shalom to the icon teaching this word that four corners, and true sincerity, shalom.